Jai Sai Ram, offering my love at the lotus feet of my Guru, my guide and my best friend, Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. I am grateful for this opportunity to share some of my day-to-day humble experiences which have shown Baba's omnipresence and omniscience, and I pray to Bhagwan to share these through me. My name is Ketan and I'm from Bolton Sai Centre. My family have been blessed to be part of the Sai fold since the 1960s when they lived in Africa. My grandma was a dedicated Sai devotee, regularly attending Sai Bhajan in Nairobi. One of my aunties once asked my grandma, "Why do you follow Sathya Sai Baba?" My grandma, who was illiterate yet very wise, answered simply, "I follow Shirdi Sai Baba, he is God, and this is also Sai Baba, so he is also God." Simple. There was no turning back. When my family migrated to the UK, to Bolton, they continued to be active in the local Sai activities here, with many of my family members, my aunties and uncles, attending Bal Vikas. I too, from a young age, have attended Bal Vikas and Bhajans, but I don't think I really understood what everything was about. I feel that my intense Sai journey began in 2010 when my grandma sadly passed away. Something happened overnight, something just clicked for me, my mum and dad and my brother to become all of a sudden enveloped in the Sai fold, and I can't explain that. We started to go to bhajans every Thursday, started to sing bhajans, started to become interested in other Sai devotees' experiences, started to attend programs. That year we went to the Region 5 spiritual retreat and also attended the UK pilgrimage to Prashanthi Nilayam, which Baba had invited the whole of the world to. And that is where my humble Sai journey began. At first I felt quite unlucky listening to other long-standing devotees' experiences of their physical interactions with Baba, offering Baba flowers, garlands, speaking to him, having interviews, seeing his footsteps in the sand and collecting that sand. But as the years have gone on, I've come to realise that that is actually my good fortune, to only have that one physical interaction with Baba in 2010, because I'm not attached to that physical form. In fact, I take Baba with me in my day-to-day activities, wherever I go, whenever I go. If I'm worried about something, if I'm happy about something, I will remember that Baba is present there. And that makes a lot of the challenges in my life, in my day-to-day life, a lot more easier to overcome and get through. I'd like to share some of my experiences which show how Baba is a parent to us who does anything to bring a smile on that child's face. So my first one is of when I was an undergraduate optometry student and I was in my second year, which was, I'd say, around about 2016. Me and a friend had gone to the cathedral, which is on Oxford Road in Manchester, one lunchtime, and we sat on a pew at the back of the cathedral, and at that time I used to wear japmala around my wrist, so I took that off and I started to chant Om Shri Sathya Sai Krishnaya Namaha. And I just felt that I know that Baba is present everywhere and we don't need proof of that, but just in a playful way I challenged Baba that you say that you are everywhere and I know that you are, but show me some sign that you are in this cathedral as well. So I was heavily investigating the altar, looking at the stained glass windows, the figures, the embroidery on the cloth which was on the altar table, and I just couldn't find anything. So after about 5-10 minutes of heavy investigation, I just stopped, I gave up, and I wasn't dejected. I just said to Baba that I know that you're here. Of course I don't need that proof, and maybe you're telling me that. And as I was about to leave, I was putting my japmala back on my wrist and I looked over to the left, and along the very big wall of the cathedral, there were very big stained glass windows, and my attention was drawn straight to the fact that all of those stained glass windows in that row were in the shape of the Sarva Dharma symbol. The big circular centre 5 petals and then 5 leaves in between each of those petals. And straight away I realized that that is Baba showing me that he's present everywhere in whatever form. He doesn't need to be in his original Sathya Sai form. He's the Jesus which is in this cathedral. He's all Sarva Dharma forms, and he has shown me his presence here in that form. Going forward a few years to 2018, after I finished my degree, me, my parents and my brother went to a family holiday, starting with a week in Prashanti. Now, when we come away from Prashanti, we always have a couple of days, a couple of weeks where we remain in that spiritual feel. After being in Prashanti for a week, we went on to a couple of days in Singapore. And on our first day in Singapore, we went to Little India. And there is a beautiful mandir there. It's a huge building and there's lots of little shrines within there. So we went to that mandir and we were going to each of the little shrines, offering our pranams to the different deities. And we got to the Durga shrine. Now the Durga Ma Murti was so beautiful, so captivating. It was a standing Murti, and it was almost as the size of the Murti made it feel as if Mata was actually stood there. Plus the beautiful loving expression on her face and the way that she'd been dressed as well. And I was just taken in awe. I was just stood there with my hands folded. I wasn't even praying. I was just taking in the beauty and the effulgence of that Murti. At that moment in my mind, I said to Bhagavan, I said, Baba, it would be so beautiful to have your darshan here as well. Just a thought that passed in my mind. Now, as I was stood there and I had that thought, an auntie walked past. And I remember thinking that that auntie was dressed just like an auntie would be dressed in Prashanti. And I don't know why I had that thought, but as she passed, I noticed that she had a really small brooch which was pinning her pallu here, and it had a picture of Baba in it. And again, I was just so grateful to Baba that he took my little request, humble request. Again, I didn't need the proof that he was there. I should have felt that he's present in that Durga Ma as well. But accepting my request, he gave his darshan in the form of that brooch that just went by. And we continued to have darshan of the different deities in the mandir. Afterwards we came out and I felt, I should really go and tell that auntie what happened. So I said to my parents, just wait here. And I ran back inside the mandir and I was looking around. This auntie looked like she was a volunteer, the way that she was quickly walking around everywhere. So I went back in, I was looking for her and I couldn't find her anywhere. And I just knew that Baba had set that whole situation up just to fulfill my very humble request. So I was so grateful to him. Now, continuing in that trip in Singapore, we went on to, I think the next day, tour around some of the shops and the malls there and some of the arcades there, shop arcades. So we went to one of the shop arcades, and again, just in my mind, being in this spiritual hype still from Prashanti, I said to Baba that, it would be so nice to have your darshan here as well. Now this was like a market arcade where there was little small stalls everywhere from the locals, clothes, handbags, watches, electricals, etc. And as I was walking through this arcade and I had this thought, I noticed that in this mobile phone shop, on the wall, there was a huge photo of Baba again. And again, he showed his presence there to me. So I am so grateful that over and over again, Baba shows that he's present in every part of my life. That we don't need to confide him to a mandir, to a prayer room, to Prashanti. We need to create that Prashanti around us and within us in every part of our life. Baba says that just think of me, look for me, and I will be present. He is there, we just have to find him. We have to look for his little calling cards. in our day-to-day life. Thank you again, Baba, for this opportunity and for giving me these experiences. Jai Sai Ram.